Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd. فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear sweet Islam brothers and viewers of social media, let's recite Durud and Salam. As-salatu wassalamu alayki ya Rasulullah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله نويت سنة اعتكاف. Excellence of conveying Durood and Salam, the noble Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam has stated, whoever recites Salat upon me on the day of Friday, I will intercede for him on the day of judgment. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. In the book Call to Righteousness on page 303 it is mentioned, those fond of gaining pleasure should ponder how terrible risk we are taking just for the pleasure of a few minutes can be realized by listening to the following narration. Hajatul Islam Sayyidina Imam Abu Hamid Muhammad bin Muhammad Ghazali rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi has stated on page 141 of the 504 page book Minahjul Abidin, published by Maktabatul Madina, the publishing department of Dawateislami. It is narrated, certainly the severity of death, throes and agony is accordance with the worldly pleasure. Therefore, one gaining more pleasure will feel more pain during death. Here is a glimpse of severity of death, throes. Alama Jalaluddin Sayuti Shafi'i rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi has narrated, death is the most horrifying thing from amongst the horrors of the world and the hereafter. It is more severe than being slit with the saws, cut with scissors, boiled in cauldrons. If the dead person had become alive and informed the people about severe agonies of death, the luxury and sleep of days would have all come to an end. Here is a couplet that mentions, if I had not been born in the world, all grief of the grave and the resurrection day would have ended. The agonies of death throes are more severe than being slaughtered. If only I were roasted and had been slaughtered in Taiba. Alas, lots of sins and fear of hell. If only I were not a human in this world. Attar has entered paradise. Was the voice heard on the resurrection day? If the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam had not secured him, he would have entered hell. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. 9 frightening sayings of Mustafa about accountability of favors. Described here are 9 heart-trembling sayings of the beloved Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, aimed at arousing enthusiasm for staying away from temporary pleasure and making oneself fearful of the accountability of the hereafter in case of enjoying worldly pleasure. Number 1, on the day of judgment, Allah Azza wa Jal will call one of his bondsmen and make him stand in his court. And he Azza wa Jal will question him about his status and rank the way he Azza wa Jal will question him about his wealth. And number 2, if a bondman walks any step, he will be questioned on that day, on the day of judgment, why he had walked the step. And number 3, on the day of judgment, first of all, the bondman will be questioned. Had I not kept your body healthy? Is a question. Had I not made you drink cold water? Is another question. Did you fulfill the rights of them or not? And number 4, the master and the slave and the husband and the wife will be brought and held accountable The man will be told, you drank water with pleasure so and so day, and the husband will be told, there were others wanting to marry so and so woman, and also you wanted to marry her, so I made you marry her, leaving all of them. What right did you fulfill for these favors? And number 5, on the day of judgment, the mu'min will be questioned about every deed. He will even be questioned about applying kohl in his eyes. And number 6, the sermon the bondman reads, i.e. the advice or speech he delivers. He will even be questioned about it as to what you had intended for this, meaning preacher, and whether they intend to promote the call to righteousness by delivering a speech, or to receive praise, fame, or wealth. And number 7, anyone calling towards anything will be made to stand on the day of judgment with his call, no matter he had given the call is only a single person. This narration refers to sincerity. Preachers conveying the call to righteousness and making individual efforts should ponder whether they had performed these deeds for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal or for anything else. And number 8, I swear to the one under whose power my life is, the favor you will be questioned about on the day of judgment is cool shade, good date, i.e. dry fruit and cold water. And number 9, last and final point, on the day of judgment, every wealthy poor would wish that he had only qut, which is in Arabic, in the world. Qut implies only as much food as is needed to save one's life and nothing more. And 3 last points I'll mention. More wealth causes great nuisance. Number 1, Sayyidina Abdullah bin Amirah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu has stated, the more wealth one has, the more accountability he will face. And number 2, Sayyidina Abu Zar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu has stated, on the day of judgment, the accountability of 2 dirhams possessing person will be more severe than the 1 dirham possessing one. And last and final point, number 3, a great Tabi'i saint, Sayyidina Muawiyah bin Qurra rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi has stated, on the day of judgment, the most severe accountability will be made against a healthy and influent person. He is a couplet that mentioned from Ala Hazrat. Ala Hazrat rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi has prayed to Allah Azza wa Jal in the above couplet, O Allah Azza wa Jal, for the sake of modesty and shyness of your noble Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, forgive me on the day of resurrection without accountability. I am already ashamed of myself for committing sins. Please do not make me ashamed anymore by holding me accountable for my deeds. O Allah, O beloved Allah Azza wa Jal, I do not deserve to be tested. Forgive me without any reason. You are all powerful. Wasail Bakshish, page 126. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Insha'Allah, my dear Islamic brothers, straight after the dua, we are going to go out and call Islamic brothers towards righteousness, call them towards the salah, call them to the evening sunnah inspiring Ijtima of Dawateislami, which takes place every Thursday here at 8 p.m. Fazani Medina. Try to involve yourself and you'll be blessed in the akhirah, insha'Allah ta'ala. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Jazallahu anna Muhammadan ma huwa ahluh. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept our Salat al-Zuhr. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, accept this short dars. Give us true amal of the deen and give us the ability to do call to righteousness. O Allah Azza wa Jal, save us from the fire of hell. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give us entry into paradise. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, make us amongst the pious. Give us ability to have true ishq and develop true ishq for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Sahaba ikram, the Ahl Bayt, the Awliya ikram. Ya Allah, bless our Pir and Murshid, keep this ayah above our heads with the du'as and supplications. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, give us the istiqamat in deen and make us punctual in our salah by performing our 5 daily salahs with jamaat. Ya Allah, remove the ghafla, remove the laziness, cleanse our heart, make us pure and give his ability to abide by the commandments and to follow the sunnah of beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who have requested for du'as and supplications, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, our donation majlis, many dua requests come via them, Ya Allah, for the sake of Mustafa, accept this sincere dua. Some of the students of Madrasatul Madina are unwell. They have requested for sincere dua for good health. Ya Allah, grant them shifa for the sake of Karbala. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, our brother Aminat, Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, his beloved father, who passed away quite a while back, Ya Allah, grant them a high place in Jannah. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, relieve any torment in the grave for them. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, forgive their hukuk al-ibad, forgive their hukuk Allah. Ya Allah Azza wa Jal, and give his ability for his son to send more and more Isali Swab for them. Sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun. Wassalamun ala al-mursaleen. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.